Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our April book club event, and the months are flying by. This is awesome that we're in April already. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Steinberg. I'm the founder of the Detroit Writing Room in downtown Detroit. And we've got some new faces here, which is awesome. Special thank you to the Wayne State University Press for sponsoring tonight. And we will be giving a book away at the end of the event. So make sure to stay on Zoom till the end in order to be entered to win. We got a lot of fans here, Desiree, of your book. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Desiree. She's got some fun readings and discussions for you guys. So Zoom is all yours.
All right, great. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for doing this whole series, which has just been amazing. And I'm glad to sort of be bringing up the rear. I think, do you have one more in the series, or am I the last?
No, we've got one every month through the end of the
Oh,
season.
all the way through. Okay, all right. Well, maybe when we were talking, we were just moving up to April. Um, this is a weird position because I have talked to book clubs before. By the way, this is the fifth anniversary of my book being out.
Mhm,
So you
mhm.
guys are like, it's been
Wow.
5 years. I cannot believe
It's been
this.
that long. Wow.
It's been that long, yeah. And I go to book clubs, but I know how book clubs work. Like you drink and eat and you never read the book. And you read something like ahead of time just to get there. So you have like, well, that one thing to say that you read in the New York Times or in Goodreads or something. So what I usually do is explaining to Stephanie is I do an instant book club, just assuming no one has read the book. And because it's Flash, I can read it. We're all on the same page, literally, and then we can go from there and discuss it, and then we can go and do the next thing. Now, most of you have read it, but I think we might just go ahead with that. I hope you guys feel like that's okay. So, I'm really actually very impressed with you all because Flash is a genre. It's like if you guys had picked a science fiction or a romance, and it's not just your general consumption kind of book. You get people like, I'm not reading a 600-page history, blah, blah, blah. I'm not reading a romance. And people feel like that about Flash because it's a quirky little thing that kind of sits between prose and poetry quite often. And it's not long enough to be a short story. It's typically defined as 1,000 words or less. And most of mine are 750 words or less because I was a newspaper columnist and I had to write 750 words several times a week. And so when I started to write my novel, it started coming out in 750 word increments because that's the muscle I had.
Mhm.
And so I often say that if Flash wasn't there for me, I would have had to invent it because I have yet to get a novel length anything out. And I have been working on it, but I always feel like my story is told in the first 3 pages. So it's a curse and a blessing. Um, Part of the assumption of flash fiction is that you meet people um, in a place of familiarity. So they're oriented and they know what's happening. And then there's an action or something that moves, and then you leave the reader there to finish it here or here in the heart. And because of that, stories can have so many different meanings to so many different people, which is why I love coming to book groups because we get to sort of debate what happens next or what happened at all in the piece. So I'm going to start with one of the shortest ones called Sealing. If you do have the book and you want to read along, you don't have to. It's on page 59. Sealing. The law firm, okay, so I want to let you know what was in my head when I started. And so what I wanted to do is use lyrical language like a poet might to paint a picture of a scene. And in the scene, I wanted to explore sexism at work and the relative power of, of men in a workplace where a woman is entering the workplace and bringing all that she is. You can't be more of a woman you're not less of a woman if you're not pregnant or never been one, but that's like the womanly woman, womanless archetype, right? Is the pregnant, the giving birth woman. So I put the giving birth woman in the situation to see what would happen. So that's what I was doing. The law, oh, and I don't know if you know what law review is, but law review is like the honor roll of law school. And they are the people that get to sort of edit a journal of scholarly articles. And so law review is quite a badge of honor in law school. Mm-hmm. The law firm was no place for a woman, law review or otherwise. Mm-hmm. He said as much, sucking the end of his pipe, eyes gazing past his glasses to her tender breasts. Mm-hmm. She tried not to shrivel beneath his stare. She felt faint, like a rice paddy woman bent in muddy water as a baby hardened in her womb. Maternity leave, he repeated, considering her quietly, a problem to be solved. Pipe smoke curled to the ceiling, a halo of power. His tie was burqa blue and lemon yellow, a robin's egg cracked open, yolk running. He leaned forward and knocked his pipe on the crystal ashtray, filling the room with the linger of fire. She was nothing more than a useless bride, crossed legs as brown as firewood, ready to be doused, life going up in saffron flames. If you wanted to have babies, he said, smiling gently, why did you go to law school?
Hey.
So where are you after I read that? Who's got some reactions?
Let's get them.
String them up.
I can't wait to read this book. As you were reading that, I was like, I can't wait to read this book. It's so good. The description of his tie and then how you went further with the robin's egg crack, like, loved it. Loved it. So good.
Can I ask a question?